They offered the infertile alien princess to a human, and she conceived Evan's thumb pressed into the holographic seal. The contract shimmered blue, then locked with a sharp chime. The palace pressure chamber's walls pulsed faintly, recycling the thick, ozone-laced air that Vayrons breathed. Chancellor Koth Varun leaned forward from his elevated dais. His iridescent scales caught the chamber's sterile lights. The treaty binds House Veyra to humanity's alliance. Envoy Mercer, you claim Princess Saeli as consort. Her world gains your Federation's fleets. Yours gains legitimacy. Evan peeled off his glove, flexing his fingers against the residual tingle. Legitimacy. That's what they called offloading a princess to a human envoy. He scanned the chamber's readouts on his wrist display. Pressure stable. Oxygen mix holding at 22%. No leaks. Routine for him. For them, this dome was a marvel of containment tech. The inner door hissed open. Princess Saeli Veyra strode in, her tall frame clad in flowing silver robes that whispered against the floor. Her crest feathers, vibrant crimson, flared slightly, a Veyron tell for tension. She carried no entourage. Just duty etched into every precise step. Chancellor, she said, voice resonant through the chamber's translators. Before witnesses seal this, I invoke Article 17. State my condition plainly. Koth's mandibles clicked once. He tapped his console. Princess Saeli is infertile, diagnosed by royal xenobiologist Dr. Nemorel. No viable heirs from Veyron unions. This marriage secures alliances without succession threats. Evan watched Saeli's feathers flatten, her golden eyes fixed on him, unblinking. Not shame, defiance. She placed a clawed hand on the contract pad. Human Evan Mercer, I enter this bond willing. But I demand a clause. No public humiliation, no fertility trials, no announcements of my failing. My people fracture under civil war. This stabilizes them. Do not make me a spectacle. The chamber's hum deepened as recyclers kicked in harder. Theron air, higher nitrogen, laced with pheromones, his suit filtered. He met her gaze. Straightforward, like negotiating hull tolerances on a colony ship. Agreed, he said. But let's refine it. Koth's scales rippled in surprise. Refine? The treaty stands. Evan tapped his own wrist console, a secondary holo projected beside the main contract. Federation standard overlay. 1-year partnership trial. We collaborate on Veyra's crises, your failing hydrodomes, the border skirmishes. Prove value both ways. Mutual veto rights. Either ends at no fault, no reprisals. Saeli tilted her head, feathers twitching. Veto? You propose escape for both? Partnership isn't chains. Evan kept his voice level. Your engineers call the dome leaks impossible. I fixed 3 on approach vector yesterday with sealant from my shuttle. Standard human improv. We adapt together or not at all. Koth leaned back, mandibles grinding softly. Bold, envoy. The princess's status. Changes nothing. Saeli cut in. Her claws retracted fully, a rare sign of approval Evan recalled from briefings. Dr. Steele, Rel deemed me barren after standard tests. But humans, your biology defies models. This trial tests alliances, not wombs. Evan nodded. No promises, just facts. Vayrons excelled at neural nets and gravitics. Humans, we jury-rigged solutions from scrap. Koth's console beeped. He scanned it. Captain Jero Sen reports no breaches. Witnesses confirm.
His eyes narrowed at Evan. You humans push boundaries.
Very well. Trial clause appended. Veto mutual. Saeuli's hand hovered over the pad.
She glanced at Evan.
Why yield control? Most males claim. Claiming breaks things. He shrugged. Engineering 101. Flex, don't snap.
Her feathers eased. She pressed.
Green flash. Bonding ceremony in 72 hours. Palace apex. Full court. Prepare, Consort Mercer. The chamber doors parted. Guards flanked the exits. Captain Jaro Sen at lead, his armored crest low and watchful. Jaro's gaze bored into Evan. Distrust. Human frailty in Veyran halls. Evan followed Saeli out. Corridors curved upward, walls veined with bioluminescent vines that pulsed in sync with distant heartbeats. Palace life support thrummed beneath floors. Efficient, but brittle. She slowed beside a viewport. Below Veyra Prime's capital sprawled, towering spires amid dust storms. Chancellor maneuvers. He supports publicly. Privately, he dreads an heir outside his line. Koth controls succession now. Trial buys time.
A soft chime echoed. Servitor drone approaching with refreshment vials.
Siley waved it off. You signed without heirs in sight. Why?
He grinned faintly. Federation needs your grav tech for the Rim Wars.
You need our fleets yesterday. Practical match. Her laugh hummed, low and genuine. Translators caught the nuance. Respect.
Practical. Bayron's bond for life.
Or die trying. They reached her antechamber. Doors irised open to a vast space. Crystal growths refracting light. Air thick with floral scents. His filters tagged as neutral. Guards posted outside. Jarrow nodded curtly to Saili, ignored Evan. Inside, she shed her outer robe. Beneath, fitted vestments tracing her lithe, scaled form. 4 arms folded thoughtfully. Rest. Ceremony demands rituals. Fasting. Neural sync.
Evan stowed his gear kit on a side ledge. Sync.
Like Neuralink, direct mind link establishes pair bond. She paused. Infertility aside, it reveals truths. No lies survive. He unpacked a ration bar. Human standard. Vacuum sealed.
Fair.
I'll prep my implant.
A comm bust.
Nema Rel materialized. Sharp-featured Veyran in lab whites, tentacles writhing in agitation. Envoy. Preliminary scans. Human physiology. Anomalous. Pheromone receptors absent.
Gamut viability untested. Saili's crest flared.
Forbidden experiments end, Doctor. This is Alliance, not lab. Nema's eyes gleamed. Precisely.
You are the variable.
I request post-ceremony samples. Evan bit into the bar. Crunchy. Familiar. Deal? Nema's tentacles stilled. Agreed.
Human adaptability intrigues.
Saeli watched him chew. You eat that? Amid palace fasts? Fuel. He offered half. Try. Stabilizes blood sugar. She accepted, nibbling. Scales around her mouth shifted hue. Faint pink. Pleasure? Unexpected. Sweet. Jarrow entered. Helm under arm. Princess.
Intruders probed outer perimeter. Human shuttle parts.
Evan swallowed. Decoy seals. Leftovers from dome fix. Drew fire off real assets. Jarrow's gaze hardened, then softened a fraction. Restraint. Not ego. Noted. He exited.
Captain distrusts off-worlders.
Prove him wrong.
Evan synced his wrist to palace nets. Dome leak data streamed in. Patterns emerged, microfractures from quakes. Human fix, epoxy injections, pressure tested. She stepped closer. Heat radiated from her scales. 72 hours. Sync binds us. If veto triggers, we adapt. His hand brushed hers. Cool, firm claws. No pull away. Alarms blared suddenly. Palace-wide. Koth's voice boomed. Rival faction breach. Secure the consorts. Jarrow burst in, blade drawn. To the core vault. Now. Saili grabbed Evan's arm. They ran.
Corridors sealed behind. Explosions rocked distant halls.
Even scanned readouts mid-stride. Breach vectors clear. Left flank clear. Service tunnels. Jarrow snarled. Human maps? Extrapolated. Evan punched a panel. Hidden door slid. Go. They plunged into dim maintenance ways. Pipes hissed. Vines snagged. Saili glanced back. How? Patterns. He sealed the door. Your palace breathes like a ship. I read it. Rivals shouted ahead. Echoes. Jarrow charged. Felled 2 with precise strikes. Evan spotted a junction box sparking. Sabotage. He yanked wires. Evan yanked wires free. Sparks died. The junction box went dark, cutting power to the rigged explosives ahead. Clear, he shouted.
Jarrow nodded once, sharp. Saili squeezed his arm tighter.
They surged forward. Rival shouts cut short. Jarrow's blade flashed again. 3 more down. Bodies slumped in the dim glow of biolimb vines. Evan scanned the tunnel fork. Vault this way. 50 meters. Saili's breath cycled fast. Inhale 4 counts, hold 3, exhale 6. Her ritual pattern frayed under stress. Claws pricked his skin. They burst into the core vault. Thick crystal doors sealed with a hiss. Hollow displays flickered. Palace grids red with breach points. Koth Varun's face appeared on the central screen. Polished scales gleamed under office lights. Consorts secure. Rivals contained in East Wing.
Doctor?
Rel traces their drone signatures. Secure, Jarrow growled, sheathing his blade.
Evan released Saili's arm. Her heat lingered on his skin. He tapped his wrist unit, overlaying human pattern analysis on the hollow. Drones from service vents. Jam them at these nodes. Koth's eyes narrowed. Human presumption. Works. Evan patched the command. Drones winked offline across the grid. Silence fell. Sayeli straightened, scales rippling gold. Chancellor, escort us to the royal suite. The sync ritual commences now. 72 hours remain. Koth inclined his head. As law demands. Doors unsealed. Jero led them out. Corridors hummed with repair drones. Servants bowed low. Evan matched Sayeli's stride. Her suite loomed at corridor's end. Sealed archway, crystal-veined walls pulsing faint light. Jero punched the entry code.
Doors parted. Inside.
I post guard. Doors hissed shut. A soft chime sounded. Surveillance link live. Somewhere Koth or his aides watched every angle. Sayeli faced him. Her chamber sprawled vast, woven vine platforms, steam vents for humidity, low glow orbs. No chairs. Veyron style. The ritual binds us, Evan Mercer. Or Vito ends it. He nodded. Show me. She knelt on the central mat, scales shimmering.
Cycle 1. Breath sync.
Inhale 4 heartbeats. Hold 3. Exhale. 6. Deviation risks neural mismatch. Evan knelt opposite. Close. Her scent hit him. Sharp citrus and stone. He watched her chest rise.
Inhale. Her eyes locked on his.
Hold. He matched.
Lungs burned on the hold. Off by a half beat. She shook her head. Claws tapped the mat. Ritual warning. Precise. Again. Second try. His timing lagged. Steam vent hissed, breaking focus.
Impossible for off-worlders, she murmured. Duty etched her face.
Infertility label hung unspoken. Court whispers said Veyrans couldn't crossbreed. This marriage tested that.
Evan paused.
Human training kicked in. Negotiation hacks. Pilot breaths for 0. Pacing cue. Her brow ridges lifted. Ritual forbids aids. Adapt. He tapped his knee once per heartbeat. Simple metronome. In, she hesitated. Then nodded. Claws flexed. Tap, 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 tap. Inhale. Hold. Tap, tap, tap. Exhale. Tap, 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 tap. Perfect sync. Her eyes widened. Heat bloomed from her scales, warming the air between. Again. No test now. Flow. Cycles blurred. 10. 20. Neural hum built in his skull like shuttle sync-up. Her claws brushed his wrist, guiding, not testing. First clean completion. Gong tone chimed from wall crystals. Hollow logger flashed green. Sayeli exhaled slow. It worked. No mismatch. Patterns match breaths. Evan smiled faint. Yours run like engines. Steady throttle. She rose, scales flushing deeper gold. Pulled him up. Hand lingered in his. Cool claws, firm grip. Court calls this impossible. Dr. Rowe claimed human variability too chaotic.
Outside. Boots scraped.
Jaro's voice barked. Intruder drone, corridor scan unauthorized. Alarms whooped. Sweet local.
Doors thudded under override lock.
Jaro's face pressed to the crystal viewport. Locked per protocol. Rivals probing. Stay inside. Sai Lee tensed. Chancellor? Evan's wrist unit pinged external feed. Koth's voice crackled. Drone neutralized. Rill's analysis, faction sabotage, ritual verification holds. Continue sync.
But Evan's scan caught it. Residual signal in the vent grate above.
Tiny lens glint, not neutralized. Watcher inside too, he murmured. Sai followed his gaze. Claws extended. Expose it. He boosted her with linked hands. She slashed the grate. Drone tumbled palm-sized, faction crest etched. Sayali crushed it underfoot. Shards crunched. Proof. Jero pounded the door. Status, clean, Evan called. Your scan missed the inner one. Then, human eyes, noted. Sayali turned to him. Heat radiated stronger now. Ritual bond tugged. Faint neural itch, like shared pulse. Cycle 2, proximity weave, scales to skin. No retreat. Evan stripped his tunic. Cool air hit bare chest. She shed her vestment, scales layered fine, iridescent. Biological gulf hit, her frame lithe, clawed, vented for steam regulation. His, soft skin, adaptable lungs. She stepped close, chest to chest. Her heat soaked in, weave breaths. Share rhythm, he inhaled with her. Bodies aligned. Her claws traced his shoulders. Light, testing. Neural hum deepened. Partnership sparked, not political real. Pulse synced. Her eyes softened. Veyron's bond slow. Humans dash. Accelerate. Adapt together. His hand found her waist. Smooth scales. Firm muscle. Outside, Koff's voice droned over comms. Progress noted. Hair viability scans tomorrow. Dr. Rel requests samples. Sally's claws tightened. She suspects my infertility hides variables. You are the test. Evan nodded. Let her. We prove it our way. Door rattled. Jarrow again. Breach contained, but rivals massing at perimeter. Dome fractures worsening. Quake sabotage. Evan pulled back slight, mind racing. Dome data from earlier. Microfractures. Human fix epoxy, but Veyron stone rejected it. Service tunnels access domes? He asked. Siley nodded. Guarded. Not anymore. He synced wrist to palace nets full. Patterns flooded. Quake lines. Fracture webs. Inject sealant at these nodes. Pressure test after. Her ridges furrowed. Silent incompatible. Palace engineers failed. Human mix. He eyed the chamber lab station. Veyron chems, your resin base, my catalyst ratio. Bonds cross material. Drone's word delivering vials. Evan mixed quick. Resin, hardener, stabilizer tweak. Syringe gun primed. Jarrow's voice cut in. Consorts, stand down. Evac protocols. Wait. Trust built in that look. Send him. Door unsealed. Jarrow blocked the threshold, blade half drawn. Human in tunnels? With rivals loose?
Evan held up the gun. Fixes the dome.
Keeps everyone breathing.
Jarrow eyed the mix. Scanned it. Restraint again. No glory grab. 10 minutes. I cover. Evan moved. Tunnels dim. Steam thick. He injected nodes. Fractures sealed smooth. Pressure tests green across his display. Back in suite, gong chimed cycle complete. Asaili waited. Vestment loose. Dome stable. 24 hours hold. He set the gun down. She closed his task. Claws cupped his jaw. Gentle. You solve impossibles. Court sees threat now. Koth maneuvers control. Rivals and the air. Lips brushed. Her scaled warm. Kiss tentative. Then deep. Neural bond flared. Heat, pulse, shared rhythm.
Alarms blared anew. Koth's face on hollow. Consorts.
Rival strike on sweet perimeter. Captain Sen. Hold! Jarrow's shout echoed outside. Blaster fire cracked. Evan grabbed Saili's arm. Pulled her behind the suite's reinforced console. Blaster fire chewed the outer door. Down! Jarrow bellowed from the hall. His boots thumped closer. Rivals breached the east wing. 3 hostiles inbound. Evan scanned the room. Syringe gun on the table. Useless now. He snatched a Veyron shock rod from the wall mount. Human grip fit perfect. Powered it live. Blue arc crackled. Saili's claws dug into his shoulder. Not fear. Resolve. I feel your calm. Koth's hollow flickered. Captain, extract the consorts. Negative, Chancellor. Jarrow's voice growled through the comm. Human stays. He's earned it. Door buckled. Metal screamed. 2 rivals burst in. Scaled warriors, blades glowing plasma hot. Evan lunged. Shock rod met the first blade. Sparks flew. Veyron armor smoked. Warrior staggered. Saili activated the suite's grav field. Second rival slammed ceiling word, pinned. Jarrow crashed through the smoke. His glaive sliced the drone mid-air. Third rival dropped. Gutted. Silence hit. Jarrow wiped blood from his scales. Eyed Evan. Restraint in chaos. Again. Evan deactivated the rod. Teamwork. Saili rose, straightened her vestment. Perimeter secure? Jarrow nodded. For now, Koth's pulling strings. Wants you both in medical for safety scans. Her gaze sharpened. Convenient timing. Med bay doors hissed open an hour later.
Dr. Nima Rel waited, scanner wand glowing.
Sharp-eyed, tentacles twitching. Consorts. Sit. Cross-species compatibility protocol. Urgent post-incident. Saili took the adjacent one. Restraints clicked. Standard, not hostile. Rel swept the wand over Saili first. Hollow screens bloomed. Cyclographs spiked erratic. Palace diagnosis. Barren. No viable ovulation in 7 cycles.
Saili's tail flicked.
State the obvious, Doctor. Rel's wand hummed toward Evan. Data streams merged. Red flags pulsed. Human baseline. Adaptable endocrine profile. But missing trigger. Veyron fertility hormone LH9 unresponsive. Cross-species gap.
Evan leaned forward. Show me the raw data.
Rel paused. Tentacles coiled. Classified. Royal logs only. Classified won't fix it. Evan met her gaze. I'm the variable. Give me access. Saeli nodded. Granted. He solves impossibles. Rel hesitated. Then patched his wrist pad. Streams flooded. Hormone peaks. Neural syncs from their bond. Genetic markers. Evan scrolled. Mapped it fast. Veyron cycles ran hot. 3-day surges. Resin-thick blood markers. Human analogs. Close but LH9 needed a catalyst kick, like his domed sealant tweak. Plain language overlay. He built it live. Graphs simplified. Green peaks for sync points, red for blocks. Your LH9 stalls at 40%. My testosterone analog spikes it to 92% in bond state. Missing trigger, progesterone bridge. Human normal dose, timed to neural flare. Rel's eyes widened. Impossible. Alice assays missed this. Assays assumed pure Veyron. Evan tapped the screen. I'm the cross-material bond.
Salee studied the map. Claws traced his arm.
Viable air potential, confirmed, high probability. Evan kept his voice level. Protocol change, monitored injection. My ratio, your resin base. Court cum buzzed. Chancellor Koth's face appeared.
Princess, this is reckless, unverified human meddling. Authorized.
Dr. Rel oversees. Log it. Koth's polish cracked. I convene the council. Second team audits immediately. Rel primed the injector. First dose now. On state amplifies. Evan rolled up his sleeve. Needle bit. Warmth spread. Saeli's hand found his. Neural pulse synced. Her graph jumped. Green across the board. Jarrow stood guard at the door. Council en route. Court's team inbound. Hours blurred. Saeli's vitals stabilized. Ovulation marker hit 98%. Air viable. Rel sealed the logs. Data sings.
Palace lied or hid. Alarms whooped.
Medbay doors locked. Koth's voice boomed. Audit team. Seized a lab.
Human contamination.
Jarrow drew his glaive. Over my scales. Evan stood. Bond thrummed. Saeli's resolve stealing his. They want control. We give proof. Second team stormed in. 5 techs, stun nets primed. Koth led, flanked by guards. Princess. Koth bowed shallow, for stability.
Saili rose.
Scanner hollow projected huge. Stability?
Your audits buried this. Air confirmed. Koth's gaze flicked to Evan. Human trick. Infertility sealed succession. My succession.
Rel stepped forward. Data doesn't lie.
LH9 bridged. Cross-species viable. Techs lunged for consoles. Jarrow blocked 2. Evan grabbed a spare injector. Flipped it to sealant mode. Locks fused solid. Restraint, Jarrow grunted, glaive spinning. Adapt. Evan dodged a net. Tackled a tech. Pinned him human style. Elbow lock. No kill. Saeli activated emergency purge. Consoles wiped to secure backups. Koth snarled. Traitors, he signaled guards. Blasters charged. Neural bond flared hot. Together. Evan rolled. Grabbed Koth's wrist comm. Smashed it. Audit this. Jarrow disarmed 2 guards. Rel stunned the rest. Tentacles precise. Koth back to the wall. Council ends you both. No heir survives rivals. Saeli closed in. Claws gentle on his jaw, like their kiss.
Data calls you liar. Bond proves us real.
Evan felt it then, her cycle shifting. Warmth shared.
Hair spark. Doors pounded.
Reinforcements. Jarrow grinned scales. Round 2, that hollow council lit up. Elder voices. Logs received. Viable confirmed. Chancellor, detained. Koth slumped. Cuffed by his own. Saeli turned to Evan. Pulled him close. Lips met. Scaled, warm, deep. Bond sealed. Medbay quieted. Rel logged final. First crosshair. Human adaptability wins. Yet shadows lingered. Rivals whispered in tunnels. Proof bought time, not safety. Evan's wrist pad pinged. Incoming scan. Embryo stable, but rival drone signature, closing fast.
He grabbed the shock rod. They're not done.
Evan swung the shock rod. The rival drone screeched through the medbay vent, red scanner eyes locking on Saele's abdomen.
He lunged. Rod cracked its chassis.
Sparks flew. The drone plummeted, rotors whining. Jarrow's glaive speared at midair, pinned to the deck. Secure it, Evan said. He knelt, pried open the hull. Tamper-proof seals, human military grade. Logs first. Saele's claws gripped his shoulder. Her neural bond pulsed steady. Ours safe. But her scales flushed deeper blue. Cycle peak lingered. Embryo vulnerable. Rel's tentacles snatched the drone.
Encrypted. I'll crack it.
She dragged it to a console. Scanners hummed. Jarrow hauled Koth's cuffs tighter. Rivals bold. Palace breached. Evan stood. Wrist pad confirmed. Embryo stable at 98%, but protocols demanded precision now. New schedule starts. Run it clean.
Saeli nodded. She activated the chamber seals.
On time. Every variable logged. They moved as one. Evan prepped the injector array. Earth-Tech hybrid, calibrated for Veyron biology. Saeli lay on the stabilization table, her 4 arms linking neural pads to his. Bond synced. He monitored vitals. Heart sync 1. 1 hormone cascade optimal. She documented via implant. Timestamp 1427. Human input. Adaptability factor 112% baseline. Pulse steady, Evan said.
He adjusted the flow regulator.
Alien gestation needed micronutrient pulses, impossible without real-time tweaks. His fingers danced over controls. Human reflexes beat auto systems. Rel logged from the side. Cross-species viability, confirmed. Human variable exceeds projections. Jarrow posted at the door. Clear. Protocol complete in 17 minutes. Saeli rose, bond warming.
She touched his cheek. Real.
Not politics. Partnership. Her comm buzzed. Banquet coordinator. Performance honors tonight. Council optics essential. Saeli slashed the air. Cancel it. She keyed override. Privacy over spectacle. Here first. Coordinator stammered. But tradition. New tradition. Saeli cut the line. Her eyes met Evan's. Us. Evan checked seals. Good. But his pad pinged. Delivery inbound. Fertility tonic. Palace standard. Jarrow growled. Routine post-cycle. But after drone, Evan blocked the door panel. No. Chain of custody first.
He tapped protocols, his addendum enforced since wedding day.
Staff logs mandatory, no exceptions. Servitor drone hovered outside, vial gleaming. Delivery for Princess Saeli. Fertility enhancement. Log it, Evan said through intercom. Source. Handler. Seal integrity. Now. Drone hesitated. Inner door cycled. Tech entered. Nervous frills. Standard batch. From stores. Earth spectrometer app flagged anomalies. Open for inspect. Tech paled. Protocol says, new protocol. Evan held the shock rod loose. Jarrow loomed. Tech complied. Evan swabbed. Pad beeped. Engineered contaminant. Neural suppressor. Targets embryos. Sabotage. Evan sealed the vial. Rel? She snatched it. Tentacles whirred over analyzer. Synthetic phage. Veyron design. Modified. Binds human alien proteins. Lethal to hybrids. Her eyes narrowed. Koth's lab signature. Traces.
Saeli's claws flexed. Bond flared anger.
Rivals strike low. Internal investigation, Rel declared. She keyed Palace security net. All batches recalled. Text detained. Jarrow cuffed the tech. Talk. Tech babbled. Chancellor's order. Stabilize succession. Human heir. Threat. Proof stacks. He turned to Saeli. Rest. I'll audit deliveries. She pulled him into the private alcove. Door hissed shut. Her lips met his. Scowled. Urgent. Bond deepened. Embryo ping. Growth spike. But alarms wailed. Outer halls. Rel's voice. Intruders.
Tunnels. Evan grabbed his rod.
Jarrow spun glaive. Rivals escalate. Saeli armed her side claws. Tonight matters most. They burst into the corridor. Shadows swarmed. Masked figures. Blasters low. Lead assassin lunged at Saeli. Injector raised. For purity, Evan tackled. Human elbow lock pinned the arm. No kill. Injector clattered. Jarrow cleaved 2.
Rel's stun web tangled 3. Siles slashed the injector.
Vapor heist, same contaminant. Assassin sneered. Tonic was mercy. This ends it. Evan wrenched the mask. Familiar frills. Koth's aid.
Why tonight, Bond Peak? Air sets.
Aid spat. Bond surged. Sally's mind linked. Data refutes. We thrive. Guards swarmed. Aid cuffed. Rel scanned bodies. More vials. Coordinated. Evan wiped sweat. Most important night. They knew.
Sayeli leaned on him.
Scales cooled. You blocked it. Again. Wrist pad. Embryo 100%, but deeper scan pinged. Residual trace in her system. From earlier exposure? Rel frowned. Contaminant variant. Slow burn. Needs counter. Evan calculated. Human medkits had analogs. I've got it. He sprinted to stores. Grabbed epinephrine hybrid. Earth field improv. Mixed with Veyron buffer. Injected precise. Saili gasped. Bond cleared.
Safe. Council hollow flickered.
Elders. Investigation expands. Rivals named. Jarrow grinned. Humans fight dirty smart. But Evan's pad glitched. Shadow signal. Deeper tunnels. Larger. They adapt too. Evan said.
He charged the rod.
Round 3. Together, protocol holds.
Air viable. Intruder klaxons blared.
Doors buckled. Evan stood front. Human adaptability. Night not over. Deeper in the palace, Chancellor Coates' cell feed cut. A shadowed rival watched. Phase 2.
No air survives.
Saili's whisper. Incoming. He swung first. The swarm hit like acid rain. Drones poured from grates. 10, 20. Lasers sliced air. Evan rolled behind a pillar. Rod arced, frying 2. Sparks lit his face. Jarrow bellowed, glaive a whirlwind. 3 drones shredded. Saili danced. Claws precise, Bond feeding him positions. Left flank. He pivoted. Tackled a drone mid-dive. Smashed its core human fist style. Scales admired. Veyrons fought elegant. Humans improvised brutal. Rel's console spat webs. Jamming signal. 1 drone broke through. Locked on Saili. Payload armed. Contaminant missed. Evan leaped. Grabbed its tail rotor. Whipped it into the wall. Explosion rocked the hall. Quiet fell. Wreckage smoked. Saili clutched her abdomen. Clear? Evan scanned. Embryo strong. He pulled her close. Lips brushed. Bond sealed deeper. Jarrow dragged debris. Rival marks. Deeper faction.
Rel decrypted a core. Manifesto.
Purity over hybrids. Koth just front.
Council feed returned. Elder voice. Mercer. Vera. Stand.
Proof demanded. Saili straightened. We deliver. Wrist pad logged all. Variables, blocks, saves. Human logged. Unbreakable. But tunnels rumbled.
Heavy.
Not drones, Jarrow said. Troops.
Evan gripped rod.
Partnership forged in fire. Hare's future, fought for. Saili's eyes gleamed. Ours. They charged the breach. Evan burst through the tunnel breach, rod humming in his grip. 10 armored Veyrans blocked the passage. Rival faction troops, crests scarred with purity marks. Jarrow roared ahead, glaive cleaving the first's shield. Sparks flew. Saili flanked left, claws raking a second soldier's visor. Flank right. Her Bond pulse hit Evan's mind. He swung low, rod cracking knee joints. 2 crumpled. A lead troop lunged at Evan, vibro spear thrusting. Evan sidestepped, grabbed the haft, yanked. Human leverage twisted the weapon free.
He drove the butt into the troop's throat plate.
Crack. The soldier gagged, dropped. Jarrow impaled another mid-leap. Saili's tail whipped, tripping the last pair. Evan finished them with precise rod strikes. Non-lethal, per palace code. Bodies slumped. Jarrow scanned the dark. Clear. But they're probing. Tribunal next. Evan wiped sweat. Bond thrummed. Saili's approval, warm. Koth's timing. Let's move. They emerged into the grand atrium. Hollow screens flickered council feeds. Chancellor Koth Varun's image loomed. Envoy Mercer. Tribunal chamber, now. Alone. Evan's wristpad buzzed summons code. Saili squeezed his arm. Go. I'll follow unseen. Her scales shimmered, cloaking tech engaging. Jarrow nodded grim. Watch your back, human. Evan strode into the tribunal chamber alone. Marble walls gleamed under violet lights. Koth sat elevated, flanked by two elders. Dr. Nemarel hovered at a console, scanner humming. No guards. Deliberate isolation. Koth's voice sliced. Progress, Mercer. The Alliance hinges on it. Scans. Samples. Evan stood center. Rod sheathed at his belt. Calm settled. Treat it like a negotiation, constraints first. Invasive scans risk the embryo. Bond data shows stability at 87%. Push too hard, you crash the system. Koth leaned forward, eyes narrowing.
You presume to dictate?
Veyron law demands proof. Heir viability. Or the marriage dissolves. Rel tapped her console. Human physiology masks variables. Blood, tissue. Essential.
Evan crossed arms.
You've got my logs. Drone attack vectors, contaminant blocks, embryo telemetry. All public now. He flicked wrist pad. Hollow projected wreckage analysis. Bond sync graphs spiking during the fight. Milestone 1. Survived assassination. Milestone 2. Public binding right.
Safer than your probes, elders murmured.
Koth's claws tapped stone. Binding? Theatrics. We need heirs, not gestures. Chamber doors hissed. The Sali strode in, uncloaked. Scales iridescent, crown gems pulsing, gasps echoed. She shouldn't appear unannounced, protocol broken. Evan Mercer is no handler. Her voice rang clear. She crossed to him, tail coiling his leg in ritual hold. Bond flared hot. Mine. Publicly, she extended claws. Scored his palm shallow. Blood welled. Hers met it, claw prick synced. Crimson mixed on the tribunal floor. Chosen partner. Bond sealed. Veyron law recognizes. Evan matched her gaze. No flinch. Human skin toughened by years in void stations. Scar tissue bonded faster. The mix glowed faint blue, air signature forming. Elders leaned in. Koth rose. Princess, this defies. Stabilizes.
Sali, cut him. Alliance proven.
Air possible. Control yours if you back us. Rel's scanner beeped. Signature viable. Cross-species sync at 92%. Extraordinary. Evan felt the bond deepen. Saili's pulse steady, protective. Her hand lingered on his. Partnership, not politics. Koth sat, smile thin. Very well. Milestones noted. Tribunal adjourns. Goal met. Proof without invasion. But Koth's eyes lingered, calculating. Outside Jarrow waited, gripping a squirming courier. Veyron youth, pouch spilling data slates. Intercepted at service gate. Sabotage specs for this chamber. Evan snatched a slate. Blueprints glowed. Gas vents rigged. Timed to tribunal. Purity faction codes. They wanted me exposed. Or worse.
Jarrow crushed the pouch.
Deeper rot.
Troops earlier? Distraction.
Saili's bond tugged alarm. Rel's data. Dr.
Rel approached. Console under arm. Courier confessed under truth serum. No heir survives phase 2. But your logs. Human adaptability shifted variables. Embryo thrives. Evan pocketed the slate. They don't want a child. Control of the possibility. Koth fronts it. Jarrow growled. Arrest him? Saili shook head. Proof first. Evan? Your plan? He nodded. Wrist pad compiled. Attacks, slates, bond graphs. Leak to elders. Cultural exchange. Humans log everything. Unbreakable chain. Rel smiled faint. Variable walks again. Fascinating. Jarrow clapped Evan's shoulder. First trust. You fight dirty, human. Effective. Saili pulled him aside, chamber emptying. Her claws traced his scar. Bond strengthens. Hair kicks. Evan cupped her face. Lips met. Soft scales. Firm resolve. Partnership holds. But atrium alarms wailed. Hollow feed. Koth's shuttle vanishing into storm clouds. Elder's chamber breached.
Footsteps thundered. Purity troops pouring from hidden lifts.
Jarrow drew glaive. Here they come.
Evan gripped Rod.
Bond sang. Together, they charged. Deeper tunnels echoed with bootfalls. Evan led, Rod scanning heat sigs. Saili matched stride. Claws ready. Jarrow covered rear. Rel trailed, drone swarms prepped on her pad. Split? Jarrow asked.
No.
Evan pointed junction.
Flank them. Human trap. Bait and collapse. Saley grinned. Rare flash. Bold. They funneled into a killbox corridor. Troops appeared, 20 vibro spears humming. Lead fired stun net. Evan rolled. Net sizzling pillar. He hurled rod arts electric. Downed 3. Saili leaped, tail sweeping legs. Claws slashed harnesses. Jarrow's glaive spun death. Elegant arcs felling 4. Rel's drones buzzed in. Lasers pinpoint. Evan tackled the sergeant. Pinning, he logged facecam. Purity tattoos. Yield. Logged for council. Hybrids and Vera. Bond pulsed Saeli's rage. Controlled. She disarmed him. Troops surrendered. Bound.
Back in Atrium, elders convened emergency.
Koth's hollow flickered. Fugitive now. Mercer, Vera, your evidence? Evan uploaded all. Slates, logs, confessions.
Saeli stood tall beside him.
Alliance iron. Binding accepted. Guards on you both. Honored envoy. Rel scanned the mixed blood again. Infertility? Incomplete data. Human factor. Key. Privacy chamber later. Saeli shed robes. Evan traced her scales. Tired. Alive. She pulled him down. Bond wove dreams. Child's first cry. Lips met fierce. Human endurance met Varen grace. Partnership bloomed. But wristpad pinged.
Encrypted from Koth. Phase 3 initiates. Possibility ends.
Evan sat up. Saley's eyes hardened. Hunt him. They dressed. Jarrow a door shuttle prepped. Rod hummed ready. We end this. Council halls shook as they pursued. Control slipped from rivals. Heir's future. Theirs. Dr. Rel's scanner beeped sharp in the dim medbay. Positive? She hissed, claws clicking on the console. Pregnancy markers confirmed. Varen gripped the exam table edge. Saeli's tail coiled tight around his leg. Her scales flushed deep indigo. Rel tapped her slate, initiating emergency royal security protocol. No transmissions out. Shields up. Alarms wailed through the palace vents. Jarrow burst in, glaive humming.
Doctor? Status? Lockdown. Rel snapped.
Heir confirmed. 5 access only. You, me, Evan Mercer. Princess Saeli. Elder Vorse. Evan stood.
His message, prioritize containment, Rel cut in. Human factor disrupted infertility.
This changes everything. Saeli rose, hand on her abdomen. Bond pulsed, warmth, fierce protectiveness. Evan felt it echo in his chest. Jarrow nodded. Shuttle to shielded wing. Now. They moved. Evan grabbed his rod from the wall rack. Vibrofield hummed active. Saeli's claws extended half-sheathed. Rel's drone zipped ahead, scanning corridors. Troops saluted as they passed killbox remnants. Bound Purity faction prisoners slumped against pillars. Elder Vors waited at the shuttle ramp, robes crisp. Mercer, Vors rumbled. Your log sealed the council vote. Koth's exiled. But this... He glanced at Saeli.
Hair binds us eternal. Shuttle hummed skyward.
Evan monitored wristpad feeds. Palace nets flickered. Koth's sigil vanished from public channels. Shielded habitat wing sealed behind them. Crystal walls hummed with phase barriers. Air recyclers whispered clean. Central chamber. Nest bed. Nutrient vats. Jarrow posted at the vault door. Perimeter secure.
Drones patrol. Rel unpack scanners.
Daily vitals. Human adaptability. Your proteins bridged our gap. Extraordinary. Evan unpacked his kit, duct tape, multi-tool, protein bars from Earth shipment. Routine now. Saeli, water. She nodded, sinking into the nest.
Bond thrummed, steady.
Evan knelt, traced her jaw scales. We got this. Her claws laced his fingers. Ours. Elder Vorses activated the access slate. 5 cleared. No others. Rest. He left. Door hissed shut. Evan scanned the room. Vents secure. Consoles locked. Goal. Stabilize. Conflict. External pressure. Saeli's eyes narrowed. Koth. Wristpad pinged. Public channel override. Koth's polished face filled the hollow. Citizens of Vera Prime, he intoned. The so-called heir emerges. A milestone, yes, but state property, raised by council edict for purity of lineage. Human influence quarantined. Succession secured. Protests clashed, purity faction banners waved. Evan clenched fists.
Narrative campaign. He's rallying holdouts.
Jarrow growled. Broadcast counter. Now. Rel shook head. Protocol blocks outgoing. Emergency only. Lee stood. No, we claim it. Evan nodded. Legal parenthood on record. Joint statement. He jury-rigged the console, bypassed shield filter with multi-tool pins. Earth negotiator trick. Treat protocols like firewalls. Live in 3. Hollow flared. Evan and Lee centered, hands clasped. Bond visible in synced scale flushes his steady pulse. People of Era, Lee began, voice steel, air confirmed. Hours. Evan leaned in. Legal terms, parental rights absolute. Evan Mercer and Lee Vera, sole guardians. No state claim. Alliance law ratified. Council vote logged. Feeds exploded. Cheers drowned Koth's rebuttal hollow. Purity chants faltered. Koth's image flickered back.
Lies. Hybrid unstable.
Science demands control. Evan killed the feed. Logged. Evidence stack grows. Jaro clapped his shoulder. Human words cut deeper than spears.
Lee pulled Evan close.
Partnership. Rel monitored scans. Markers stable. Human endurance complements Viron gestation. Collaborate. Night cycle dimmed lights. Evan set watches. Him first. Lee curled in nest, tail over belly. Bond wove sleep. Visions of tiny scales. Human grip. Ping. Wrist pad. Encrypted. Jaro's mark. Evan slipped to side chamber. Jaro whispered. Perimeter breach. Drone down. Purity remnants. Small team. Vibro spears.
Evan gripped rod.
Numbers. 8. Closing on east vent. Lee stirred. Evan? Stay. Protocol. She rose anyway. Claws out. Air. Jaro led. Evan flanked. Rel's remaining drones buzzed flank. Vent grate exploded inward. Spears hummed. 8 figures, purity tattoos glowing. Lead lunged at Jaro. Glaive spun, severed haft. Evan rolled low, rod arcing electric. 2 down, convulsing. Lee leaped from shadow, tail whip cracking knees. Claws raked harnesses. 3 disarmed. Jaro's arcs felled. 2 more, precise, elegant. Last pair charged Evan. He sidestepped, tripped one into Lee's slash. Tackled the final, pinned, facecam logging. Yield. Names for council. Hybrid abomination, he spat. Evan zip-tied wrists. Logged. Containment holds, but Koth's network deeper, back in habitat. Lee leaned on Evan. Scales cooled. Tired. He guided her to nest. Rest. I'll mod the vents. Multi-tool word he sealed grates with alloy strips. Taped sensors. Human fix. Adapt. Reinforce.
Jaro.
You choose restraint. Every time. Honored. Dawn cycle brightened. Wristpad flooded. Public support surged. Koth's narrative cracked.
Elder Vorse hailed.
Statement viral. Council affirms parenthood. But Koth fled to outer rims. Bounty posted.
Lee smiled faint.
Safe. Evan traced her scales. Bond pulsed stronger. Child's heartbeat echo. Rel entered. Slate glowing. Anomaly. Hybrid markers accelerating.
Human genes rewriting Veyron limits. Evan frowned.
Problem? Opportunity. Rel's eyes gleamed. But rivals know. Phase 2. Assassination off table. Now extraction. Alarms blared anew. Hollow map flashed. Fleet signatures. Rimbound. Koth's sigil. Jaro drew glaive. They come for the air. Lee's claws extended. Evan powered rod. We end it. Together. But deeper ping. Wrist pad private. Private. Dr. Rel's override code. Mercer, your blood holds the key. Test me. Forbidden variable.
Evan slammed the habitat door shut.
Alarms shrieked through the palace corridors. He yanked Lee behind the reinforced bulkhead, rod humming in his grip. Jaro spun, glaive raised. Fleet inbound. Koth's vanguard. 3 shuttles. Armed. Lee's claws dug into Evan's arm. Her scales flushed violet. Fear signal. Nest secure? Vents modded. Sealed. Evan tapped his wristpad. Rel's override glowed. Your blood holds the key. Test me. Forbidden variable. Later. We bait first. Flush the internals.
Decoy schedule.
Now. Evan synced pads. He broadcast a fake itinerary, royal scan presentation, habitat wing, cycle peak. Full court invited. Lies layered thick, vulnerable transfer times, open corridors. Bait for Koth's network, Jarrow growled approval. Staged sweep ready. My guards cover vectors, drones whirred overhead. Rel's tech. She patched in via holo, anomaly stable, hybrid pulse strong.
But Koth's agents embedded. Your human blood.
Disrupt their scans. Use it. Evan nodded. Decoy drops in 30. Move. Evan and Saili dashed to the transfer corridor, a gleaming artery of crystal arches and grav lifts. Palace hum vibrated underfoot. He checked seals on his vest, multi-tool clipped, face cam live. Saili pressed against him, forced proximity in the dim service tube. Her warmth seeped through fabric, bond pulse sinking heartbeats. They want the air. Or me. Empty vessel. Not empty. Evan squeezed her hand. Human grip. Steady. We prove it. Together. Footfalls echoed. Jarrow's signal pinged. Agent inbound. Koth's sigil on drone trace. Evan hauled Saeli into the open corridor. Decoy time. They strolled exposed, pads glowing with the fake schedule. Bait walked. Shadows shifted. A figure lunged from a side grate. Cloaked Veyron. Stunner raised. For pure blood. Evan sidestepped. Tripped the agent's leg with his boot. Sunner clattered. Jarrow burst from ambush points. Glaive pinned the agent's throat. Guard swarmed. Cuffs snapping. Koth's quartermaster. Confess. The agent spat. Fleet takes the abomination. Hybrid ends here.
Evan zip-tied backups. Facecam logged every word.
Names. Network. Jarrell hauled the prisoner away. Council gets him. Fleet stalled. Your decoy jammed their infill. Saili exhaled. Scales warming gold. Relief. She leaned into Evan. One nest cleared. Back in habitat, dawn cycle flared. Wrist pad buzzed. Public feeds viral. Human saves princess. Reforms now. Elder voice. Sign the edicts. Secure the line. Saili straightened. Duty ignited her eyes. Council chamber. Reforms today. Evan modded her robes. Added alloy weave from his kit. Human fix. Lightweight armor. Safe. Chamber doors hissed open. Court-packed yelders, nobles, drones hovering. Chancellor Koth absent, fled to rims. His faction glared. Saeli mounted the dais. Slate projected. Edict 47A. End coerced fertility rulings. No forced pairings. Mixed species families protected. Heirs verified by scan, not blood purity. Murmurs rippled. A rival elder rose. Princess, your infertility. Verified false. Saidli slashed stylus across slate. Signed. Holoseal bloomed. Tube adaptability rewrites limits. Debate ends. Court gasped. Evan stood at her flank. Rod holstered. Calm. No boast. Jarrow flanked the other side. His gaze met Evan's. Respect hardened.
Restraint again. Human way.
Feeds exploded. Cheers echoed. Public support crested. Habitat wing beckoned. Evan and Saeli led the court inside. Nest chamber gleamed, his mods everywhere. Sealed vents, sensor nets, human-taped reinforcements gleaming amid Veyron crystal. Rel waited. Slate radiant. First verified scan. Present. Lee guided Evan's hand to the holobed. Drones hummed. Scan initiated. Court leaned in. Hybrid image bloomed. Tiny form, scales flecked human brown. Dual heartbeats pulsing. Gasps. Whispers. Viable. Cross-species true. Rel pointed. Human genes accelerate markers. Veyron infertility bypassed. Rewritten. Partnership proven. Hair safe.
Saili's claws retracted. She traced Evan's palm.
Bond thrummed, child's echo strong. Evan smiled faint. Contracts read, problem solved. Partnership real. But alarms pierced again. Holomap flared. Koth's fleet breached outer defenses. Shuttles screaming inbound. Jarrow drew glaive. Extraction teams. Rel's eyes locked on Evan. Your blood. Test me now. Forbidden variable activates defenses.
Saeli tensed. What variable?
Evan pulled his multi-tool.
Wristpad pinged Rel's code. Blood sample.
Palace shield keyed to human anomaly. He pricked thumb. Droplet hit scanner. Palace shuddered. Shields ignited. Blue fire lancing skyward. Fleet halted. Shuttles veered. Court cheered, but Evan's pad private channeled. Koth's voice intercepted.
Human witch, deeper strike.
Air's cradle.
They burrow. Evan powered rod. We hunt. Deeper ping. Rel's override escalated. Mercer. Variable unlocks air's defense, but it binds you permanent. Test. Jarrow saluted. Your lead envoy. Evan met Sayali's gaze. Bond pulsed. Choice loomed. Shuttle klaxons wailed closer. Burrow. Breach. Imminent.